Hey guys, this is Bostonl1 here with another FPL recap, this time week 4. This week we are playing the Fincourts team, which is like the team Gimme a Hat. Shout out to Lugia, by the way. So this week I'm actually not joined by anybody, just me solo, so I'm sorry guys you have to deal with my voice the entire time, but you know what? We'll push through. So, with that being said, yeah, Fincourts team is pretty interesting. I like a lot of the players they have. But, I mean, I think we still got this in the bag. I still think we're one of the best teams despite losing last week. So hopefully we can continue our other wins and try to go 6-1 this season. That's my plan, trying to win as many games as possible. So, we start off the week with Tsubasa versus Beard Momo, or Average Beard. And let's go. So, just looking at this team, it seems that Gyarados can be a big pain to this team if they can predict correctly and hit on the right switch in, such as like Zapdos can switch in, but it's taking a lot from any waterfall or crunch damage. It can revenge it, but I mean you're still taking a lot of damage. Venusaur can be whittled down, and etc. etc. So his team is pretty scary in my opinion. Also Snorlax just eats hits and throws out attacks and does damage. Really, the best check we have that's Melmetal, but still, it doesn't like taking an Earthquake and getting weakened. So, I think our game plan is try to set up, remove the Starmie, and put our fast Doug Trio in a position to win, because it can do enough to his team. Of course, it beats the Melmetal, outspeeds, and pretty much walls the Zapdos. It doesn't run Heat Wave in this meta, and so on and so forth. So. The team is like, let's see, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Sucker Punch, Doug Trio, Standard, Muck, just a Crunch and stuff. This is interesting. Venusaur, it's like, what, Reflect, Growth, Giga Drain, and what's the other one? Earthquake. So it's a really unique set. It can do some damage to his team, but the Zapdos pretty much walls it. But Zapdos can't beat Venusaur back very well, but I mean, still, you're still not doing much damage to it. Standard Melmetal, defensive Surf, Scald, Mew, and just standard Zapdos. So, going into this game, let's go ahead and start it. So, turn 1 we lead Mew as he learns Aerodactyl. This is more likely just a taunt lead, as we predict that and just go for Scald. Does nothing to the Aerodactyl, but I mean, what it is what it is. We just double Scald and the Aerodactyl's gone. So they got rocks up. They can't get rid of that, so it is what it is. We go into Zapdos here as he just body slams. Does a lot, so we have to play around this a little bit as we just roost up as he goes for body slam again. We're just playing around now because now we go for Thunderbolt as he Earthquake. So we're trying to play around with roosts and stuff. So we roost again as this time he clicks body slam again. And then we just throw up another Thunderbolt as he body slams. So we're getting most of the plays right. And now this time we're just going to switch up U-turn right out back to Mew. I believe we take this as an opportunity to get our rocks up. Yes. But he rests up. So this rest more likely to be really annoying to break. But this gives us a free switch in the Venusaur. As we use our Reflect right here. So. We start growthing up as he wakes up and body slams, and turn 1 pairs us. This is annoying, as you'll see right now. We predict that switch to Melmetal will be Earthquake, but we get paralyzed. He Ice Punches, which does absolutely nothing, but we get paralyzed again. Goes for Earthquake, that does nothing, as we just Earthquake back. And then he decides to Earthquake after the Reflect goes down, which would not have killed us without that crit. So we could have gotten, he should have clicked Ice Punch regardless, but because he went for that, we could have got more Earthquake damage off of him and weaken it even more. This is very unfortunate. I mean, Para is a Para, it is what it is. But that's not optimal. Pretty much our Venusaur went down way too early. So we go under Melmetal to revenge this essentially. As we do? Thunder Wave on the Zapdos. But we decide we just want to get damage off in the Zapdos. We just click the Ice Punch and it almost kills. So we double the Doug Trio here, knowing that it walls the Zapdos. and we just rock slide and kill it. So Zapdos is gone. We are now up 1 mon over him. Gyarados, of course, is a big threat, so we had to switch into something, as he just goes for Waterfall. Crits us. We could have lived, but we're not doing much back to it at all. Oh yeah, so Tsubasa had a little bit to drink before this, and I guess he forgot that his Zapdos is so low, so he didn't. He was usually would not make a play like that, but unfortunately he kind of forgot. So this is really bad because the Gyarados right now is really hard for us to kill. A Melmetal can, but it's still be pretty decent health, and but it'll put it in a range that Dugtrio can kill it. Dugtrio does nothing to this Gyarados. It's just so weak. Its attack is just not strong enough to really do much. So it's this is not a great position to be in. But he decided to switch out into his Melmetal as we just, I think, double Iron Bash. I wanted him to Earthquake here because I felt like that would have covered everything. But it doesn't regardless. We won the Speed Tile and killed the Melmetal. Goes into Snorlax as we just double Iron Bash, and we live the Earthquake easily. So Melmetal's doing it big. I think he clicked double Iron Bash here and does over almost 50. So that's huge. As we go in their Muck, and this is going really well. All our turns are going perfectly for us. He goes Hydro Pump, but we just get rid of the Starmie, which is fantastic for our Dugtrio. But it's still not great because now the Gyarados can kill the Melmetal. It kills the Muck right here, and it's still out of range of Dugtrio of doing anything. So this puts us in a position where essentially a crit cannot kill Gyarados here with Earthquake. Nothing can kill it. We died to anything he goes for. So the play right here was to use Rock Slide and pray we flinch, which we get the first one right there. So now Earthquake is still not in range of killing Gyarados outright. So we would have to get a crit on the Earthquake to kill the Gyarados. So we're like, well, we're just risking 30%. Let's go back. Let's go on and try to get another flinch. And we do. This really sucks for them. Not gonna lie, because they probably should have won this game. Like, I mean, they probably should. They should have. But this is coming right off the heels of the last Ubers game where the hacks are just horrendous against us. So I guess at this point I was just happy that things aren't in our favor this time. So Earthquake, it's now in range of Earthquake. We killed the Gyarados and the Snorlax. Earthquake killed the Snorlax too. So Dugtrio doing it big right there, coming back, being clutch, winning the game. So good job to GG to Tsubasa. That game was a little bit problematic, but luckily luck was in our favor and we won the first game. So moving on to the next one, we played OU with Suave against Bernie. Suave's bringing this, he's rocking that Typhlosion right there. His Choice Specs, Eruption. I mean, if you can keep rocks off the field, this is as good in any tier, to be honest. So with that, it's pretty much, this is a HO build pretty much with a Taunt, Sash Lead, Azelf, as well as just Mega Cham, Choice Scarf, the Tapu Koko, as well as Dual Dance, Landorus, and Roost. I think it's Roost. Standard, and just attacking Hydreigon. So, looking at his team is slightly annoying. I guess if we can get rid of the Heatran, anytime Typhlosion comes in on the Tangrowth or the Heracross, we pretty much collect a kill. With that being said, as well as the Mega Medicham, if it comes in a certain Mons, it can get a kill too. So, it's a pretty decent matchup. So let's go and get into it. We lead Azelf, of course, as being the suicide lead. He returns out as we just click our rocks. No need to taunt or anything. Worry about that. As he just U-turns back out Tapu Koko and right back into Greninja. So now we got Azelf did his job. Got its rocks up. No problems there. So we go into our Tapu Koko as we just click Thunderbolt, not messing around if anything. As the Glysaur comes in. I guess that play, maybe Suave was thinking that they maybe scarf Greninja as it did U-turn. and maybe they thought they could get a Scarf Gunk Shot off of on the slower Tapu Koko, not expecting to be Scarf. Doesn't really matter. Makes a hard play and goes Medicham right here. As he cooks High Jump Kick, and Bernie just stays in the U-turn. I guess I'm trying to think. I feel like there's no reason to not click Ice Punch, because if you say he goes into Tran, the only thing you're worried about is if he clicks Protect afterwards on the High Jump Kick. If he goes in Tapu Koko, Ice Punch is going to do a lot. It is Roost Tapu Koko, I learned afterwards, so just get that out of the way. Greninja's not taking it well at all. Actually, I think Tapu Koko may come close to dying. No, it doesn't. Never mind. Yeah, so Greninja will take a lot. Tangrowth's going to take a lot. I think there is no drawback to clicking Ice Punch there, but it doesn't really matter. So it goes into Tapu Koko. As we just decide to go in our High Dragon right here, resisting any electric attack can go for. As he just goes for a Z move. I actually do not know if that's like Z Wild Charge or Z Special. I think it's Z Wild Charge, but maybe I'm wrong. No, it's not. I don't know. I'm not going to say things I don't know. So we're just going to try to go in here and just weaken the Tangrowth a little bit. Get it whittled down. Right here, I really wanted Suave to double into, I think, yeah, double into Landorus or Typhlosion here. More like Typhlosion, because I figured at this point, Tangrowth's getting whittled, so he probably thinks, okay, I'm just going to switch this out, get regen, and go into the thing that resists the Dark Pulse, which is Heracross, which he does right here. Dark Pulse still does a lot. I guess another play he could just maybe drop a Draco right there, but it doesn't really matter. So we get the Heracross weakened down, and this is fine because this puts us in a spot where we can go Landorus and go ahead and set up with a move. So I think we're going to kick Rock Polish here, as Rock Blast is around 50. So now because he's weakened, 8 Earthquake kills. He goes into Tangrowth here. He wants to scout for the Z Fly, so Suave to make a good play and just SD up right here. Click Earthquake, not messing around, and he goes into Glysaur, and since it's already, we know it's Rock's U-turn, the chances it's running Ice Fang are almost 0, because it has to be Roost Earthquake, standard pivot Glysaur. So he's going to take an opportunity to SD once again, as the U-turns out. And this is huge, because now we have just +3 Landorus, still has the Z move unpopped, killed the Greninja. And right here, Bernie tries to scout for whatever Z move it can go for, as he unleashes his Continental Crush. So the Glysaur's dead. So now, right here, because he popped his Z move, I think. Let's see. I forgot how much Raw Stone Edge does. I think there is maybe a slight chance to kill it. I'm not entirely sure, but the roll is mostly in Bernie's favor. But alas, we crit the Tangrowth, and at this point, it's over because Landorus just killed the last two. Had he not had he not crit the Tangrowth, Tangrowth could have, of course, killed the Landorus. And then, at that point, Suave could have gone into Medicham, which would pick a kill. Whatever he switches into dies to High Jump Kick, so he'd have to miss High Jump Kick to not kill something. So, if he switched into, say, Heatran, at that point, Typhlosion could do a lot to his team. If he switches into Tapu Koko, I mean, Medicham just wins right there, so that's not he would never go for switching to Tapu Koko. If he stayed in Tangrowth, I guess at that point it'd be the hardest, because Tapu Koko would have to come in and dazzling predict whatever switches into Heatran. Or predict whatever he goes into. Because if he goes into Tapu Koko afterwards to kill the Landorus, or not kill Landorus, but kill the Medicham. He goes into Tapu Koko. If he clicks Dazzling Gleam, he would not beat the Heatran 1-on-1. If he clicks Thunderbolt, he can. So he had to play around the duo of Tapu Koko and Heatran to win the game. But it could have been possible, but the crit removed all doubt at that game, who was going to win that game. So, back-to-back games, crits definitely sealed the deal. It is what it is, but we're up 2-0. So, eventually our fortunes have to change, I imagine. So, let's go into Ubers right now. With Phoenix playing Fenquirt. And Fee brought a pretty much degen Paraspam team. This is like Thunderwave, Giratina, Glare, Zygarde. And the idea is just, just Glare spam everything. At the same time, he has a Glareemon in his Zygarde. And later we'll learn that this right here is also Thunderwave Xerneas. So, very annoying. This is set up to be a really bad game. Our game plan essentially is to weaken the Zygarde enough to where our Dual Dance a Groudon can win. Of course, we don't know what the Arceus is yet. I mean, looking at the team, it could be, my two thoughts was just Water or Dark, but we're not entirely sure. We are Fairy Arceus. So with that in mind, I'm just gonna go warn you, this is a terrible game. So I'm gonna go through it pretty quickly because I don't want to watch this again. Just basically go through it. So you already know we click our substitute as he just Dragon Tails. I think we're just gonna throw a Glare off right here as he just Dragon Tails us out. So Dragon Tails is out, and probably the one thing we don't want to do Dragon Tails out to. So we're just gonna go back into our Giratina as he's paralyzed. That's the first of many, as we Thunderwave right there. But we make the play and double Thunderwave into Xerneas. But here we switch out into our Arceus Fairy as he avails his Aromatherapy, which is already really bad because if he was anything else, it'd probably be a whole lot easier to deal with. But with that Aromatherapy, our Glare spam is almost neutered pretty much. So we switch into our Zygarde as he Will-O-Wisps, taunts, predicting the Glare. I guess it's pretty risky, but what it is. When you have Glare, you're just gonna click it. So we click our 1,000 arrows here as we do nothing to the Xerneas. Pretty much force switch out into our Groudon as he just Thunder Waves. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful game. I think we just throw up a Precipice as we just put it in range of Power Construct. So it's already its father form, so it's slightly unfortunate. As he just clicked Glare, probably do the same right here, because what are we, So he's gonna Dragon Tails out. Of course, that doesn't let us get our father form. I think, yeah, we just keep switching out now that our Zygarde's gone. So it is what it is. Doesn't really matter. One of our Glares gone, but it was burned. It was pretty useless. By the way, so this turn, I was watching this game live, and this turn took like 6 minutes. They were not picking their moves. And then finally, after they finally both clicked their moves, they both get paired. So I waited just to see that, which is fantastic. But we get paired again as he Dragon Tails us out. I can't remember if her Dragon move on the Giratina. Fincourt was pretty confident we weren't, but I can't remember what we were. So we go into our Xerneas here, Arceus here, making some double as he goes into Necrozma. I think we SD up here, or no, we just kill Precipice. So yeah, it's Arceus flying, which I never seen that mon in Ubers like once. I know it's a thing. I think it was ran like past few gens. It was pretty decent, but this gen I've never seen Arceus flying, so pretty neat bring. But I think we just SD up here. As we just Precipice and the Groudon's gone. So he goes into his Zygarde as we SD again. I guess predicting just whatever movie just come out, but he Dragon Tails us out. So strange, but oh well. Go into her this. As we just try to get damage off on it, availing for pretty much Ultra Necrozma. So, Mega Burst as we put the Zygarde and get super low health, which is great for our Groudon. Photon Guides at Necrozma as he just... Oh, we switch, okay. Which is a fine switch. Thunder Wave, don't we? Of course. Okay. Yeah, so we just Thunder Wave again, as he's forced to defog or Aromatherapy, but he gets parried, so that's unfortunate. Get our Rock Polish up. He defogs there, switches out as we SD up, and this is huge, because now, if you can see, we probably win. So we click our Precipice Blades here as he goes in his Arceus Flying. So we click Stone Edge, missed the first one. It is what it is. We can hit the next one. But as you can probably already guess, we missed that one too. So, the thing that was about to win the game just died. So, and it's now almost impossible to win. I'm just going to go ahead and skip. Because this gets paired right here. And it's just ugly. I don't even want to watch this. I think our Necrozma got like paired like three times in a row. It didn't matter, but like it's just kind of funny. As then the Arceus comes in and it feels just refresh, calm mind, and we can't beat that unless we get like super lucky a pair of turns, which is unlikely. So yeah. I'm not going to complain about hacks this game. And we did hacks the past two opponents we played. And as well as just the fact that this game was just all over the place. It was terrible on both sides. One of the worst games I've seen in my life, to be honest. So I'm not going to like complain and say, hey, this is we should have won. We could have won. We misplayed a few times. Fia admits it. But we had the win in our sights and we missed 2 Stone Edges. But it is what it is. I'm not going to complain about this game at all. It was terrible. So, we are now still up 2-1. So we're going into next week. Still have win 2 games to clutch. This week we have Glumok playing in UU against Jam Jam. Looking at the teams, Jam Jam is really offensive. There's not much defensive pressure. I know this is Defog Scizor, so I guess it's the most defensive mon he has. Maybe Intimidate, Crocodile. And I guess that could be a bulky pivot, Camarena. But our team, I think if you look at it, our what's this one called? Nihilego can do really well against this team. I mean, he resists the Brave Bird from the Talonflame. I assume it's not HP Fire, or maybe it is, but because we have a Magneton. And it deals most of his team pretty well. Especially bulky, so it lets it deal with Live Mega Manectric hits. But at the same time, our Swampert's really pressured because it has to switch into things like Manectric, I guess, of Mega Evolve, Mega Alt could. It has to deal with Talonflame, has to deal with the Terrakion. So there's a lot of pressure that Jam Jam can apply, but I think Glumok can win this with his Nihilego and his Dragon Dance Mega Alt, especially if he gets the Scizor removed, and I guess also the Talonflame, because if it's Fairy move Earthquake, I guess it pretty much walls it. So it's gonna be difficult, but I think it can be won. So let's go and start this. Turn 1, he leads off Prim as we lead off with Nihilego. Not wanting to get Sludge Wave, he switches into Crook, which takes a lot. We here switch out into our Swampert as he clicks Knockoff. And I think he switches into his Prim right here as we just get up rocks. Yes. So Glumok thought he wouldn't click Hydro Pump, and I guess this proves that it's specs. So he decides to just leave in the Swampert, especially because he said he had an Altaria. His idea was, why would you Hydro Pump an Altaria? But he just decided to Hydro Pump. And right here, he goes into Altaria and then doubles back into Magneton, anticipating the Scizor, as he just Hydro Pumps again and kills it. So 2 really strong plays by Jam Jam just to put him in a very big lead. So it's not great for Glumok now. He does get a kill on Crook, but like that's not the biggest problem now, because right now, because of the Magneton, the Scizor becomes immediately a huge threat. Like he can't. Plus his Swampert's gone, so he can't really beat the Scizor unless he's like SD Fightinium Z Scizor himself. So kills into Nihilego. That's also huge pressure he lost. He's gonna SD up here as he just defogs, and I think he just U-turns. So that leads me to believe he is not Z fight. So right here, just kind of annoying. He makes himself Choice Band Latios and gives Frakion, makes him faster. It doesn't really matter. Goes in Manectric because it walls, but he U-turns out pretty good. or walls, but like could get intimidated off, I guess. And right now he's just gonna go into his Talonflame, and Talonflame can SD up, as I said, because this Altari can't do anything to it, and he just Supersonic Strikes. You know, I wonder how much if he didn't Mega Evolve, I wonder how much +1 return does to Talonflame. Just a neutral, or I mean normal type. Probably not much. So Talonflame can clean up here because it just has, you know, priority Brave Bird, as well as you know, just beats the rest too. So Talonflame cleans up, and Jam Jam wins the game. So the matchup was very hard for Gloomok to win, and Jam Jam made plays to nullify anything Gloomok could do. I mean, I guess Hydro Pumping, I don't agree with Hydro Pumping the Altari, but I guess in his mind he's like, I have a Scizor, I have a Talonflame, I can beat this. I'm not really worried about that, but still, it's a pretty tough play. So with that, we are now tied 2-2, so our 2-game lead is already gone. But we're going back to OU. This time we got not number 1 playing Psytutor. Bringing back the Mega Venusaur. I love Mega Venusaur. I used Mega Venusaur so much last gen. It's probably my most used Mega for some reason, but you don't see it much this year. But this is modest offensive Mega Venusaur, or you know, bulky offensive Mega Venusaur. I think it's Zeke Wild Charge Coco, Balloon which comes in clutch in this game, because I mean, you look at it, we don't have much for Heatran, because this is not Earthquake. Mega Venusaur, so that comes in every time on the Heatran and walls it. So on the same time though, his Tornadus is very annoying because it can deal with the Blandurus, it deals with the Mega Venusaur, it deals with the Celesteela. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. We start off with our Venusaurs. We decide to throw off a Giga Drain here, which does a whole lot to that Chomp. But he switches into his Tornadus because, you know, it walls it, and Weavile comes in a good double. Ice gets the damage off on the Mawile. So Mawile is also a big issue to our team. We don't have great switching, especially because we don't want the Balloon popped on Heatran. So we're just gonna, like, you know, I think we throw off a Heavy Slam here. We can try and get rid of his Torn as early as possible. He just switches into Heatran right here because he learned he walled Celesteela because it's not running Earthquake. So I think we go into our Heatran right here, so we wall it because he predicts us to go into Easy Reserve Power, but you know, Balloon Tran. He goes into this, and that's a really hard play to make, because if he Magma Storm there, you lost the Torn. That's one of your biggest keys to this game. It's the one thing that really keeps you from losing to Mega Venusaur. But you to each their own. We get our Rocked up, which is a good fine play. We go into our Coco, and I think we just switch out into our Celesteela to sack it. Also Stomping Tantrum. I guess he's running that because he runs a Bulu, which makes sense. So we lose our Celesteela Rocky Helmet, but this puts us in a great position, which that's a good play, because that Rocky Helmet really worked against him, because now our Weavile comes in and it's easily Pursuit Traps it. So the big menace to our team is gone. So goes into his Greninja as we switch in our Coco, which is an interesting play. I guess we didn't want to go into our Venusaur. I don't know why. Keep switching out. We go to Landorus. He's Tom Tantrums again. So, goes into this. I think we just Earthquake here for whatever reason. So now that doesn't do much. So we go into our Venusaur, as this walls most sets of Tapu Bulu. No one runs Zen Headbutt. And I think he U-turns out into Venusaur as we just click Giga Drain. Or Venusaur, I mean the Heatran. And right here, we make a play. We say, like, we look at it and we're like, okay, so Tran obviously always walls this, so he can't just stay in and let Tran come in and pretty much, if he throws off a Magma Storm as he switches out into something else, I mean, it's gonna die. I guess Garchomp can live, so he makes the play and the double into Greninja. We predict that. We just click Giga Drain again, and of course, it's just gonna die. I mean, it's even Grassy Terrain boosted. So the Greninja's gone. That was a really solid play. Made a lot of sense to go for. As he goes back into his Heatran, I think we just go into our switching our own Heatran at this point because obviously he just taunts us. But now we can throw off a Magma Storm, as we do. So I think we're just gonna mess around with this. Go into Weavile, sack it because we don't feel like it's necessary anymore. Fine play. It doesn't want to get our Landers weekend. So we go back into Landers, so we click Earthquake again, in which he stays in this time and kills his Trump. And as always, we're going to tap a Coco, trying to remove the electric grassy terrain, as he doubles into his Heatran. So I guess it's a good play. And I think we just Gigavolt, yeah, and that does good enough. I mean, crit, that helps. It did a good bit. So this puts it in a position where he has to switch out into his Heatran as we just U-turn. We can go into our own I guess yeah, okay. We go into our own Heatran, and I'm sure we click like Earth Power. We have to. Yeah, wait. Yeah. So he's gonna go into his at this point, we pretty much clean up because the Landorus beats both his Mons. Goes to Sucker, pops our balloon finally, but we missed our Magform. Doesn't matter because, like I said, we can go into our Heat. We can go to our Landorus, which eats the Sucker Punch, kills this, and then the Heatran is dead. So Colby played this pretty well. Made some good plays in the middle of the game. The Rocky Helmet killing the Celesteal in the Pursuit Trap was fantastic for us, and yeah, Venusaur did a lot in this game. It was like the Venusaur plus Venutran, the classic XY core or ORAS core. It came in huge this game because with the Air Balloon Heatran won their Heatran, and the Mega Venusaur pretty much beating the Greninja, the Tapu Bulu. It went really well for us. So I like the bring this time. So this puts us in a position to win one of the next 2 games to clutch the week, which goes into my game. So here I'm playing Lugia, and I brought this pretty much Glalie bulky offense, breaking down teams. If I can get rid of the Incineroar, Glalie, every time it comes in on Druddigon or Xatu, something dies to double edge. So with that, my game plan is to remove or weaken or predict the Incineroar to come in on the Glalie and kill it. Remove it as soon as possible. And at that point, I can just pretty much I can break of Glalie and clean to something else. So Glalie, this is Glalie food, it looks like. Looking at his team. Okay, so his team looks pretty standard at first, but I'm going to go in and say his team is not what it seems. It's very unique. It's actually a team that Osh brought for SPL like last year. And I didn't recognize it because he had one Mon different of what I've seen of it. I've seen it on the ladder before. But you'll see what it is. Looking at his team just in general, Miss Magius is a huge threat because I have nothing I can switch into it. I guess Slowking can eat 1 Shadow plus 2 Shadow Ball, but it's not killing it back. Something's gonna die to it, so I pretty much put myself in a position to have to kill it with Passimian Revenge, knockoff, or eat a hit with something, and then just weaken it to a point where I can just clean it with Passimian. So, yeah, so Mass Mag is the biggest issue to my team, so I'm going to start this. I lead off with my Rhydon because I want the rocks up to weaken the Incineroar. But gives you the Selgor, I'm afraid it's maybe Specs Energy Ball, so I double my Golbat as he just switches into Zatu. I was thinking about clicking Rock Blast right there, but that thought of it being, I thought maybe it's probably Spike Lead, just because how the team looked. But I was scared, so I scouted Golbat as he doubles into this. So if I Rock Blasted there, it would have been huge for me. I think it may kill. Probably not. I don't know. It would have came close. So he doubles into this as he reveals these reflect dual screens. So because I went into Glalie and I'm like, okay, I don't want this can live a double edge if it's like standard bulky. I know it's faster, so it probably would have died to double edge if I went for it. I also didn't want him just to go into Incineroar right there. If it's like SD, if it's SD under Reflect, I can go to Rhydon as he SD's up and just pops me with a Z ground. And I didn't want to predict the Earthquake when he has a Zatu right in front of me. So I double into Rhydon as a mid ground to cover either the switch into Incineroar or just another screen slapped up. But he does none of those things as he U-turns out. And he U-turns into this. I guess I should have realized this at this point because he U-turned into it. As you can see, he goes for bulk up. I guess, yeah, it should have been a warning sign. Because why did he go into this? So this set is a bulk up, drain punch, flame charge, power trip with weakness policy. So I've seen this set before. I've seen this team before. The only difference, the team I saw was a Masquerain over Excelgor, and that was like the most defining feature of a team to me. Like I remember seeing the Masquerain, I'm thinking, okay, that's pretty strange. And I saw this set, thinking, holy crap. Okay, so because he switched to Excelgor, it threw me off enough just to not realize what this team was. So this is huge. This puts me in a really bad position, but I can at least Toxic it right here to start whittling it down and get to a point where Passimian can revenge. But I missed the first Toxic. He drains punch and gets all his health back. As I throw another Toxic, I missed both Toxics. At this point, I lost. So, yeah, if I hit, I mean, regardless, if I realized what this set was, I should have Toxic turn 1, and I would not be in such a bad position in the first place. If I hit the Toxic round 2, I could have managed. If I hit the Toxic round 3, I still probably would have lost anyway. So missing the first Toxic really sucked. Missing both Toxics, you just salt in the wound. So right now my thing's dead. This eats easily under screen. He can just flame charge up, and now he outspeeds like my Passimian, so I can't just like switch it out and try to break it later. So at this point I just go into Golbat and I see Power Chip just OHKOs. So I forfeit. Yeah, so missing Toxic sucked. If I hit the second Toxic, or the first Toxic, what I could have done is thrown off another attack on the Incineroar, weaken it a little bit, get Toxic starting to rack up. And then I could have went into Slowking, force him not to click Flame Charge, because he can't click Flame Charge on a Scald, get the Power Trip. He would then have one turn left of screen. Let me go back that turn. Okay, so he would have one less turn of screen and probably be around 70-ish%. Yeah, something like that. And I could have click Scald as he probably Power Trips on me. Go into, let's see, then go into Delmise to, wait, I'm trying to think of a thing. Like, it would have been difficult regardless, but I could have went into Delmise to like throw off another attack, as he can Flame Charge, but he would not kill me at that plus he would not kill me at the amount of he would not kill me at the point my Passimian was at. So I can go back into Passimian, and I would lit a Power Trip, or I have a chance to lit a Power Trip, let's say, and I could kill it with it how much health it has left. And at that point I'd have a very weak Passimian, a Golbat at full, and a Glalie. And then at that point you can go into Miss Magius because he can set up on my close combat. So I'd have to probably switch into my Golbat as he Nasty Plots, double back in by Passimian to sack it. Then I would go into my Glalie. I have a chance to live a +2 Shadow Ball at full. So I would kill the Miss Mag. Though I guess that doesn't matter either, because I would then kill myself if double edge. So yeah, I would have lost that game regardless. Not gonna lie. If I would have been better if I realized what the set was and actually clicked Toxic turn 1, but I did not. So yeah, once the set was availed, it was pretty much over for me because I just couldn't beat it. But yeah, so it was a good bring. I hate this team. Every time I see it, it just like this set is the most annoying thing of all time. So I am 1-3 in FPL, so not what I wanted at all. So pretty rough. I got 6-0'd again. But it is what it is. Toxic misses really sucked. I should have Toxic turn 1. I thought about it, but I'm just gonna get EQ damage off. But yeah. So misplay into double miss ended my game. So now we are now 3-3 with once again in the spot to have to clutch it out and win last game. And it's of course a shield poke because he only plays the latest possible on Sunday. That's literally what he says every week, latest possible Sunday. He's playing RU this week. Oh no, you already saw the result. Okay, so you see we won the week. Anyway, let's go ahead and go back and just show you the week play. So what Shield did was he brought Pogus Webs, and this is a very strange team. It's about as strange as the team I saw in Menu, but yeah, you got Webs, Scarf, Noivern, and then regular Medicham and regular Steelix. So this is interesting. Anyway, you're looking at it. If we can keep Webs up, we can pretty much win because Medicham just comes in and claims a kill. Removing Noivern would also be fantastic early because that can, of course, ignore the webs and outspeed things. So if we can get rid of Noivern early, it'd be perfect. So that's our game plan. Because we figured that we did not want to leave Araquanid at turn 1 because if he leaves something like Blastoise, he can nullify webs pretty much. So we're gonna lead our Noivern as he does the same. And we just drop a Draco turn 1 and kill it. So yeah, they claimed afterwards they knew we were Scarf. I don't know how they would know we were Scarf. Maybe they saw the team before, but like the things they were telling me and then telling me that they knew there was Scarf, I don't get it because they're like, I'm surprised you stayed in the Draco, and he's like, yeah, but we knew you were Scarf. Like, okay, then why do you stay in? So anyway, I tried to bluff, and that's unfortunate. But yeah, so we have no speed tie. We just killed the thing outright, and he goes into his Blastoise. We take this as an opportunity to go in our Arachnoid here. These Dark Pulses. Throw up our webs. And we knew right here he was not going to Rapid Spin there because we can just spam. We can just keep clicking Sticky Web until he kills us with either Dark Pulse or Rapid Spin. So we were confident he would not click. We were more confident he would click Dark Pulse into Rapid Spin and Rapid Spin into Dark Pulse. So which doesn't matter. So we go into our Mandibuzz here as he switches into his Rhyperior as we just throw off Toxic. I don't know why when we switched into Mandibuzz he didn't just stay in Rapid Spin, because that's a prime opportunity to do so because Mandibuzz is not doing enough. I guess like, he's not doing anything to Blast, but especially this set because it's I think its only move is U-turn. It's attacking. So yeah, he could have stayed in a Rapid Spin, but he didn't, which is nice for us. So we're just gonna U-turn out into our Steelix as he just gets his rocks. Knowing that he could go into Blastoise here to Rapid Spin, we don't want that to happen, so we go double into our Ampharos as he just does just that. This lets us throw off a Thunderbolt. As he goes into his Virizion, of course Virizion is especially bulky, so it's a good play. He goes for a Z move here as we live easily because also Virizion is very weak and we're very bulky. So we just throw off a Dragon Pulse and we weaken it enough to where we can go in our Medicham afterwards and revenge kill it. So this is also a life for Medicham, you'll see here. So we kill the Virizion as he goes into his Drapion, and we figured that, of course he went to this, so it's kind of obvious, but we figured this would be a Choice Scarf, but we're like, it doesn't really matter. We're just gonna high jump kick anyway, as he just knocks off our life orb, and we remove the Drapion. So This is okay. He goes into his Blastoise. He can't really spin here because if he does, I mean, Medicham still cleans. So he pretty much had to kill the Medicham there. So keep Rock Webs up. We were just going to Draco on the Rhyperior. And then we're just going to switch back out. We're going to sack our Araquanid here because it's not really useful. This gives us Noivern once again. And we're just going to click Draco and kill the Rhyperior. As he's going to go into his Metagross. Now, looking at it, we have two decent answers to it. Answers to Steelix, or Metagross and Steelix and Mandibuzz. Assuming we are foul play. So he thinks he's going to try to catch one of those with the Blastoise. And we're going to predict that and just click Draco again. And now we are set up pretty easily to win this game because Steelix can 2-hit KO the Metagross. So we just go for Draco again. We miss the Draco. I mean, of all the ones we want to miss, that's probably the one we always want to miss. Didn't really matter. We go into our Felix, click Earthquake. As he's a Life Orb Earthquake actually does 52, so it's a lot. So this is actually kind of spooky because I still think Mandibuzz would live whatever he can go for and kill it a few turns. So I don't think it really matters. Or Roost up. But as you see, we are Protect Steelix. This lets us live the next Earthquake, and as we go for our own Earthquake, and we kill the Metagross. So we have won the week again with a 4-3 clutch game by Shield Poke. So luckily he made up for last week, and we win. So with that, we won the week with 4-3, but we're not done yet. I got a bonus episode this week. Probably my favorite game of the entire FPL of this thus far. We got our boy Mortagon versus Champlu. Mort is on Team Beer, Yoshizilla's team. Champlu's on Phantos' team. We have not played either of these teams yet. We play them two of the next 3 weeks. We don't play them next week, play them the week after. So, week 6 and week 7. This team, Mort loves Volcanion, so he brought Volcanion. But he also brought the most whack Trick Room team I've ever seen in my entire life. For OU at least. Champlu cannot be outdone by Suave. Had to bring Standard 5 and a Braixen. We already see the Heat teams already. So let's go ahead and get this game going on. As we Champlu leads the Landorus, as Mort leads the Magearna. And Magearna makes a tough Mort makes a tough play and just decides to Trick Room turn 1 on the Landorus, which is that's a play right there, I guess. I thought it would be Shuck Up, but it's actually leftovers later, so Mort just doesn't really care. Goes into his Volcanion, which this is really nice to pop the Shucka here because the Landorus can later kill it. Goes for Toxic, misses. It does suck, but like, I mean, what's he switching into? I don't think Tyranitar does not want to get hit by a fire move, or I guess he could tank it, but it's not taking the water move afterwards. Landorus, you outspeed the Landorus. Yeah, I don't know why he Toxic, but it is what it is. So he can Fire Blast here. Of course, Tangrowth lives it because it's Tangrowth. He's going to take advantage of this and go into the tree to get another Trick Room off because it walls the Tangrowth. But he's going to save this because it does really good. Executor can do a lot of damage to his team, especially if the Magearna is gone later, which this is... I can't remember if it's Galvanize or Magnapole. If it's Magnapole, it just kills Magearna and then the Alola wins. Of course, it also can be running Flamethrower or Fire Blast, so I guess that can break through Magearna, but still. Let's see, what did it go for? Full switch. So Landorus into that. That's a strong play, doubling into the rocks, but as it goes into this and the Steam Eruption, that does. Okay, that's crazy. Why is Tyranitar eating that? But the Volcanion is down. So this gives him, though, Heracross, because that's an easy switch in, and he does not deal with Heracross too well. If it's SD, he should have been SD. He's Facade for some crazy reason. He should have, if he was like SD right there, he could have done a lot more, but alas, he was Facade, the rare Facade Mega Era. And right now, that's a strong play. Mort making these plays that are crazy, but not too great. But it doesn't matter because Champlu's way too good. By the way, this is Champlu last FPL went 0-6. There's only 7 weeks in the FPL season, so he played all but 1 week and lost them all. But fortunately, he's already won a game. He won the first game this season. I think he maybe won one more. So he's already broken the winless streak. So he's not playing for that. He's just playing for the win now. So he finally does get in the Lolum into the Magirna as it lives Focus Blast, which is pretty nice, really clutch, and Gigavolt kills the Magirna. So this is really great for the Reuniclus, for the Executor Alola, but this Charizard's a threat. But Reuni can live 1 as it sets up a Trick Room, and he's just gonna start throwing off Focus Blast onto the Tangrowth. As he goes into Braixen as Shadow Ball, look at this. Does nothing to Braixen, but the Spidef drop makes it not be able to take the next one. So he goes back into his Tangrowth, just stalling out Trick Room turns, and Focus Blast claims 1 as he's going to go into Tyranitar. As he pursues, traps the Reuniclus, and it's gone. So he can come back into, he goes into his Magirna actually. I think he just Trick Rooms up again, but he predicts that and he just goes into Charizard. Volt Switch, he lives a Volt Switch pretty easily. As he just, I'm sure he just Fire Blasts. He has Flamethrowers, so that's gone. He can go into Tree right here. Tree lives a fire move because it's part Dragon. As he goes into Tyranitar to sack it, he goes for Dragon Hammer. And this is a beautiful turn. He goes into the Landorus as he doubles into Braixen into why is he double into Braixen? Oh, just stalling out Trick. Wait, what? Why did he double into Braixen? Doesn't really matter because now Braixen, he switches out into the Magirna as Braixen OHKOs the Magirna. So now Braixen's already gotten a kill, more than Typhlosion did. I'm sorry, Suave. And now Charizard just wins. So nice Harvest Citrus Berry, but it doesn't matter because now the Charizard kills it, and GG. So, Champlu pulling it through with the Braixen team and defeats Mort. This is a really fun game just because the teams are whack and Mort was making the stupidest plays I've seen in my entire life, but it worked. And getting lucky, of course, with the Gigavolt Habit Alolan, but Champlu's just way too good to lose that game. So, with that, I don't know who won the week this week for them. I think it's Yoshi's Ill. I think Mort's team did, but I do not know that for sure. But anyway, yeah. So next week, we are playing the Braults Boys team, which is like, yeah, I don't know what the team's called. Anyway, yeah, we're playing Braults Boys team. I'm playing Electric or Mancini for NU. But yeah, it should be a fun week. Hopefully we can once again pull it through and not come down to a last game 4-3, 3-3 tiebreaker. Because I'm tired of those. I want to see us win 5-2 or better. I'm tired of this. I don't want to rely on Shield's luck to win another week. So yeah, thanks for y'all for watching. And we'll be back next week. It's the week 5, almost to the end of the season. Already halfway there. So yeah, thank you. Peace.